everybody. Welcome back to the Brickanista Broadcast Network. I'm Naomi in Seattle, but I'm wearing a Niners shirt because I have a very special guest with me today. You've actually seen him before on this show, and I had been talking with him about these 2-minute tech tips that I've been doing on Instagram and TikTok. And I said, it'd be awesome if you could come up with a 2-minute tech tip. And we were talking about it a couple weeks ago. And then he said, you know what? I have this awesome idea. And you may have seen it already. I posted it over on Instagram and on TikTok. And then we'll have a chance to show it today as well. But I'm super, super excited to have him here because he's also a 49er fan. And as you can see with my gear that I've got on today, we found out we're both part of a group, and we affectionately call people who are Niner fans the Niner Gang. And he said, oh my God, I'm a Niners fan too, because he spent some time in California. I spent some time in California. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and then also talk about his MOCs and some of the things he's been doing also since Lego Masters has aired. So please help me welcome to the stream. We have Eddie Gooden. Hey, Eddie.
Hey. How's it going? How's it going? How are you?
Oh my gosh, you look awesome in your Niners gear.
I love it. Niner gang.
We came so close. We came so close to going to the Super Bowl this time.
You know, one thing I got to say about my Niners is they are consistent.
Well, but we made it to the Super Bowl a couple years ago.
Definitely.
We were very close then.
I mean, it's kind of a thing with us. We're definitely a franchise team. So, you know what I mean? Legacy team. We may not get the ring, but it's going to be ours. We're still on that quest for 6.
Well, and I think too, when I think about the whole experience of being a Niners fan, because when I first moved to Seattle, I've been here 3 years now, and I know you're in Spokane. So you're also in Washington, so I'm sure you have lots of Seahawks fans up there. And
definitely,
several of my friends said, hey, Naomi, we're going to buy you some Seahawks gear so you can fit right in. I said, no.
That was the first thing my brother-in-law said to me when we moved up here. So
exactly.
And I told him the exact same thing. Absolutely not. It'll never happen.
It'll never happen. Don't waste your money, because I will never wear it. I will immediately give it to one of the thrift stores. And I think too that something I've learned over the years, and a lot of this has to do with just the passion for football and American football specifically, that I've talked with several people about, what's your team? And no matter where you move, if you grew up with a team, that is your team pretty much, from cradle to grave, right?
I agree 100%. For me, football came into my life. I think I was around 8 or 9 when I started paying attention to it, and it has been 49ers the entire time.
Yeah, same for me. I was like 5 years old and doing my homework while watching football, and my dad was big into football. Super Bowl games, we always went to. My dad was in the military, so what would happen is that he would rotate between his friends' homes for Super Bowl Sunday every year, and so I got to know his friends' families, and it was like a big deal. And that's one of the things that I think people, when they first come to this country from another country, that our passion for sports runs deep.
It does.
Yeah.
I gotta say, my story is pretty similar to yours. Same thing. We grew up Navy, and barbecues and friends' backyards, and it all started with me at a pizza parlor, at a Pizza Hut, actually.
Oh wow!
It all started with one of those little quarter turn little things that you get the little bubbles in. Right. And there was a gold helmet and all these football helmets, and I wanted the gold one. And I got it, and I asked my dad what was up with this. Says, oh, that's the San Francisco 49ers. And that has been my football team ever since that day. So wow.
So you self-selected pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like I said, when it happened, I didn't even know what football was. It just looked like a cool thing in a toy bubble, So, but of course, once I got it, because my dad is actually he's actually a Vikings fan. So
what?
Of course, he had a little bit.
Grow up in Minnesota, or
believe it or not, he grew up in Georgia. So I don't get it either. But
Ahoy, hoy, Brick Jedi. Good to see you. I will say over the years, the Vikings have become cooler because the fans now have the Viking clap. Because back in the day, they weren't doing this whole clap thing, right? And when you have the entire audience kind of together doing that, and I guess for us, it's the ooh, 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 right? Every time we
almost.
get a touchdown. So yeah, I think that when I spoke with a friend of mine from New Zealand, I brought him to a preseason game. This isn't even the regular season because I said we can get decent seats for a pretty nominal price. And I was mentioning to him because he started he was going to leave his hotel wearing like a what is it, a smoking jacket with a bow tie, and I looked at him and go, "You have to change." I'm sorry, but you have to change because they are just going to mock you. And I ended up giving, I said, I bought you a Niners cap. Wear your Niners cap and just get, a black, a white shirt, a gold shirt. And then I ended up giving him my jacket to wear. And he looked amazing. And what's funny is he posted his photos on Facebook and people didn't recognize him because he always wears like his bow tie and his shirts. And I said, you're in America now. You're just going to have to try to blend in. And I had another incident where another New Zealand friend of mine, we went tailgating and he was just dating
always fun.
American girlfriend, right? And I told him, I said, okay, your girlfriend can come, but we're playing Dallas. If she says anything about cheering for Dallas, it's over. I said, I'm sorry. And it was funny because she was really careful. She goes, I was just trying to wear neutral colors so that it didn't look like I was cheering for Dallas. And I said, good job.
Because depending on what game you're at, you're either with us.
Right. Oh no. Oh no. Did we just lose you? Uh-oh. So chat, can you still see me? Go Packers. Uh-oh. Is it on my side or on his side? Oh no. Hey chat, can you hear me? Am I frozen or is it just Eddie frozen? It's his side. Okay. Okay. So Aziza, I don't know if you can text Eddie and just let him know that he's frozen on his side. Okay. It sounds like Eddie has some technical difficulties. Okay. It's I saw half the screen with him frozen. So okay, it's just Eddie. All right. Well, I will just improv for now. But we were talking about how Niners culture, especially when it comes to rivalries. And Dallas is one of them, especially if you grew up in the 80s and 90s, that pretty much anytime the Niners played Dallas, it's, and sometimes too, there's a lot of people in other parts of the US where it doesn't matter. It's like anybody but Dallas, right? So sometimes. But the other rivalry, which has been huge, especially recently when they reconfigured the teams, in their various, what do you call them, like north, south, central, etc. They put us with the Seahawks. So now the biggest rivalry is Niners and Seahawks. And I live in Seattle now. So one of the things I've noticed is that I don't feel comfortable wearing my Niners gear like this just to go shopping, for example, without being, having some sort of banter going on. So what I usually do is I reserve this, especially in Seattle, unless I know I'm going to a sports bar, which has a lot of Niners fans, or if I'm just here, like on this call in the privacy of my own home, where people don't care, right? Which is interesting because I recently went to Portland last month and I had all my Niners gear and I was able to wear my jacket and I walked around and nobody cared. It was great. So anyway, well, while we're waiting for Eddie, I just wanted to just mention that today's show, we're going to have a chance to chat with him a little bit about some of the things that he's done. And I think, too, that we're looking at different techniques. And this is part of what Builder Insights is about, is different techniques that people use and how they use them to better their MOCs. And I think one of the things while we're waiting for him is I wanted to also talk about how when you're building something, especially on a large scale, that repetition is very important. And I've been in the process of working on my own MOC, and I've been also co-streaming on Rumble for for just the last week or so. So anybody on Rumble, if you're new to me, hello, I'm Naomi, the Brickanista. I'm just going to go check over there. There's one person watching over there now. Hello. Good to see you. And like I said, let me just check something real quick. Yeah, I have to turn the volume down so that it doesn't echo. But I'm going to just say hello to the Rumble person. Hello, Rumble person. And part of the reason why I'm streaming on Rumble is that it's a new platform. Actually, the platform's been around for a while. But the platform also does things differently than YouTube. What YouTube will do is will filter through a lot of the content and present to you as a viewer things that they think you're going to like. And Rumble is a censor-free platform. So what it will do is it will present to you things in order of appearance. So it's pretty egalitarian that way. And we've got Eddie back. Let's see Eddie. There he is.
Sorry about that, you guys. Disclaimer, we are having some bad weather over here right now.
Oh, no.
I very much apologize. I lost my whole Wi-Fi connection there, but I think we're back on. So.
Okay. Yeah, we had a terrible windstorm last night.
That's what's happening right now. We got a front pushing in and the wind is going kind of crazy.
Oh, no. Wow.
But yeah, we are secured right now. Yeah, we should be okay.
Okay. Well, maybe we should have you start talking about some of your techniques. We were talking about football. So
right.
While you were gone, I was just mentioning the rivalry between Dallas, and then when they reconfigured the teams, that we now are in the same league as Seahawks. So that's our next rival is in the more recent years has been Seahawks.
Yeah, Seahawks, Oakland, of course. But now that they're in Vegas, I don't know if that still holds the same rivalry.
Oh, you're talking about the Raiders?
Mm-hmm.
The Raiders in Vegas? Yeah, that is just so weird. I mean, the Raiders are like the nomad team, right? They were in Oakland, then they went to LA, then they're back in Oakland, now they're in Vegas. And
which is the only reason why I'll give Raider fans a lot of credit, because, I mean, if you'll travel with your team from there to there to there to there, hey, that's die hard.
Yeah, they're nomads. And
definitely.
Yes, it's nice to have options. We were talking about how I'm co-streaming on Rumble, and I just became aware of this platform because of a couple different people that I follow on YouTube. One of them is Dr. Sunil Dand, who had mentioned a lot about natural immunity in COVID times. And he was given several strikes by YouTube, even though he's a doctor.
Right.
He knows what he's talking about. And so he started streaming on Rumble. This was about a year and a half ago. I want to say October of 21. So, about a year and a half. And then recently, Russell Brand has started streaming on Rumble as well. And he will start on YouTube, and then he'll cut the stream and then go over to Rumble, and he just lets loose. So
apparently I also recently just found out about Rumble too through another podcast, just hearing about it, and apparently that's what you can do there. You know, they're not as restrictive, so
right.
You know, it gives you a little more room to do what you want to do there.
Yeah, and I'm also using it as an alternate to Twitch, because I was streaming on Twitch for a while, but that platform doesn't work with me, because I can't stream for, say, more than 3 hours at a time. And that's right. A lot of the streamers there stream for 3 to 6 hours. And it's just like, I did it for a while, about 2 years. And so I'm going to still stay plugged into Twitch. But I think Rumble is a better fit for me too, just for the amount of time. And speaking of time, So this stream is going to be shorter than some of the other ones. It's going to be about an hour, hour and a half. I have another meeting at 7:30.
Same here. I have to pick up the wife from work tonight.
Okay. Okay. Perfect.
That works
So
out
I
for
just
both.
wanted the chat to know if you have specific questions for Eddie, this would probably be a good time to think about those and put them in the chat and he can answer your questions. But wanted to, first of all, have a chance to chat with you more about specifically your building techniques. I know last time when I had you and Aziza along with Remy Baker, that we had a chance to talk about your experience on Lego Masters specifically, but I wanted to ask you more questions about your mock building style, how, like you mentioned about the eye of the butterfly, which we'll show the video in a little bit, but you know, what made you gravitate towards mocks, and is there a specific theme or style that you tend, because it seems like you do quite a few different things.
Yeah, I'm all over the place. I won't say I have any specific styles or anything. I'd say I'd recently just kind of got more into mock building. Lego Masters had a lot to do with that.
Right.
Collected through the the tryout process and whatnot. There was a lot of building and a lot of things that had to go on practice wise and just experience wise. So that's where I really amped up as far as mock building with my sister. And prior to that, like I said, my big deal, what I really love doing with Lego is doing small mocks, small sceneries, and focusing on minifigures, doing pictures and photography with minifigs. So that's really, what I really love doing. And as far as mock building goes, like I said, I'm kind of still learning. There's a lot to be learned since Lego Masters. I mean, being on the show, the amount of experience went from nothing to whoop. So now I'm just having fun with it. I'm just playing around, trying to do different things. It's fun to just get an idea in your head and be able to create it. Like it's
absolutely
super satisfying. So for instance, as of late, I've been working on just some going back to my roots with minifigures and working on some sceneries, but every now and then you just get that one idea in your head, and if you have the pieces and the parts for it, you just go at it, and yeah, it's fun. I love every bit of it.
Well, I should have you on one of my mock improv shows. I don't know if you've seen what we do. Is that's where we ask the audience. We focus on a minifigure. So, like for example, if we focus on Series 24, that you take a Series 24 minifigure, and then we ask the audience, okay, where are we? Ask for a place, and then ask for an activity. And then we'll spin the wheel. Yeah. We'll spin the wheel, and then whatever comes out. And the last time we did this, it was you had to be in a maternity ward and in a bowling alley. Bowling in a maternity ward. I think it worked out. It was interesting, just the different options that came out of that. So I still have to, and I'm way behind, I still have to post the photos of that. But one of the chat members had said, well, if you have 11 different minifigures or little babies, you could make a bowling alley full of babies, so you have like 10 babies set up as the pins and then another one. And that's exactly what I did. So, but if you're interested in that, let me know, because we're probably going to
that sounds like that would be fun.
Sunday. I think we've had several
of those opportunities to really get
awesome guests, and you have no idea what you're going to create. One time we had to put Thanos. We took the Thanos mech and did a re-brick build, and Thanos had to have brunch in a litter box. So it was like you couldn't use any pieces outside of the box, just any pieces that were in the box. And I think we gave an allowance of 12 other pieces. And it was just, and Aziza, if you want to be in on that too, let us know.
You should definitely get in on that, Aziza.
And hello, PT McEwen. Yes, mock improv is the best. And yes, the next one I'm scheduling is for this coming up Sunday, 1:00 p.m. So if you're interested, you and Aziza, if you want to send me a PM, let me know. PT, if you want to be on this, Jedi, anybody in the chat, let me know, because I try to do it either the 3rd or 4th Sunday of the month. And I was going to do it President's Day weekend, but there's people traveling and everything, and you don't want to disturb people on a nice 3-day weekend.
Yeah, no
Except for maybe the people outside of the US. I could call them up. Hey, you don't have this as a vacation. Why don't you come
Right,
in and do this?
exactly.
Right. So anyway, going back to why don't we talk about the mock that's right over your shoulder, since we are talking about San Francisco Niner fans about
Yeah.
your mosaic, because I noticed you recently posted that also on Instagram. That's a fairly recent post, right?
Yeah, definitely. I threw that together. I believe it was third or fourth game before we were done. I don't know. I don't remember exactly, but
Yeah, it
yeah,
was
just
only a
something I
couple
wanted to throw
weeks
together.
ago.
I was actually on a chat with a couple of buddies of mine, and one of them had suggested, "Hey, have you ever built anything Niner?" And I was like, "No." So
No, I need
of course
to.
I had to run right into the Lego room and go handle that. So that's kind of what we came up with.
And we have Go Thanos. I think PT was in on that mock improv when we did Thanos having brunch in a litter box. Yeah, that was amusing.
Sounds
So
like it.
you've inspired me to think about doing a mock with the Niners stuff, and I'm even thinking what might be cool is to do a wearable. And
Oh, that
I've
would be cool. Yeah.
I've been playing around with the I did this as one of my 2-minute tips is the flexible walls
Oh
because
yeah.
you can wear it like a crown. So I was even thinking I could maybe take something like this and have like the Niners logo hanging off of the front or the side or something. I
If
don't
you
know.
made it a little thicker, you can even make it like a Niner headband. I mean, it would work.
Yeah, Niner headband, or even what the other inspiration I've had is I looked at an old photo of Cher, and Cher
Sure.
was
Okay.
in this outfit. It was an Egyptian outfit, and she has this collar that goes around like this. And
Ah.
there's been a person who recently got a lot of publicity from Australia who made a wedding dress using those plant pieces, those leaf pieces,
I
and it
saw
looks
that.
absolutely
Yep.
amazing. So I was thinking, you know what, if I can do like a Niners emblem, kind of like,
Oh, that would be
like a
crazy.
choker
Yeah.
thing, yeah, wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah,
So
that would
I
be
might have
nice.
to just do it.
I'd say do it. Definitely.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
if I
But
have the right pieces for it, I would love to make a medallion that sits just like the emblem does here. But
yeah,
if
yeah,
I was able to
exactly.
pull that off,
Just
yeah.
to wear an emblem, and I think I think it's pretty doable. I mean, and
I'd
because
say it's doable. Hmm.
you could even take a smaller version of your mosaic and then put one of those like a tombstone piece with the hole in it, and then you can like put it on the back and then hang it off as a
Yeah.
chain. Just make a
Yep.
small version, right?
That
Like
would
this,
work too. I
like
didn't
that.
think about that. I should probably give that a try. That would actually
I think you
work better.
can, yeah.
Yeah.
Or give.
Yeah, I had to tell you, it was funny. I don't know, that mock there probably took me a couple hours to do just because being in and out, but it came together a lot better than I thought it was going to with the
Oh, it
shaping.
looks amazing.
As
It
you can see,
looks
it's only
great.
on the 48 by 48 plate. So
Well, yeah. So if you put it on a 16 by 16 or something, I think as you get smaller, it gets more grainy, though. I think the
exactly.
about having it bigger is that you can do that. But yeah, we'll wait. I think between the two of us, we'll come up with some Niner wearables we
Yeah.
can wear at the next convention. Which brings me to my next question: what conventions are you planning to attend? Will you be at Bricks Cascade in May?
No, unfortunately, that plan fell out for me.
Oh, I'm
I mean,
sorry.
just dealing with a whole bunch of other stuff that needs attention prior to activity. But yeah, I was hoping for Bricks Cascade. We actually had a full itinerary. We're trying to do 3
Oh,
conventions this year,
oh
but yeah, they
wow.
didn't quite work out just due to timing and whatnot too.
Yeah.
I'm still pretty fresh at my job at the moment, so
Okay.
even though I have the time, um, I'm a caretaker, so it's not
Oh,
something
yeah.
you can really branch off from too easily. So.
Absolutely.
Um,
Well, we need to bring it to you. We need to bring the convention to Spokane.
Spokane has a gigantic, beautiful convention center. I don't know why we don't have a Lego convention here. I might need to start it myself. I don't
I
know.
was just going to
See what
say, if
happens.
you start a Spokane Convention Center, let me know the date because it's only like 3 hours from me, from where I'm
Yeah.
at, right? To get to
Hmm.
Spokane. And I know a couple Twitch people who are in that Tri Cities area, that Richmond, Pasco kind of area, and that's not
Hmm.
that from you. So
no, not at all. Actually, that's one thing I love about this state. It's very compact. Doesn't take much to get to either corner. So, right. Yeah, just like you said, heading over to the west side where you are. Actually, from our direction takes about 4 hours, but give or take with traffic, weather, all that stuff.
Or take a flight, right? Isn't a
it's
like a 30-minute flight on
not even an hour flight.
Bubble jumper. Yeah. I was noticing.
I don't know about those tiny little planes they use for that flight, but I don't know. We'll see.
Well, let's chat some more about that because I think it would be awesome to have, even if it's not a full convention, but maybe more like a gathering where we can just like share our ideas.
As I'm finding out, especially lately, there is a gigantic community just here in Spokane. So not too many people are outspoken about it, but I'm finding out it exists.
I was going to say, between you and Aziza, with your, popularity now being on the show, that, you could probably, just set up a date at some convention center and a small setup and, maybe charge a small fee to cover things. Okay. Aziza's down for that. All right.
I knew she would be.
Well, maybe we should chat because I've been thinking I'm going to be at Bricks Cascade. I'm also going to be at Brick Rodeo. And I have a couple of followers here, and we've been talking about Brickanista Broadcast Network gatherings. So that we're planning one in Bricks Cascade. We're going to plan another one in Houston. So maybe planning one in Spokane. And, just saying, hey, if you're part of the BBN, just, hang out with us. And not that we have a big following, but,
Hey, but you know what? I'm sure it's big enough. We can make a party out of it for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And one of my other guests, Brick Hive, had talked about he hosts a barbecue at his home after, I think it was Brick Fair in New Jersey, I think, or where was Brick Fair? Virginia, Brick Fair, Virginia. And that a couple people came over to his house. He had a barbecue and a couple things going. Recently, Fazoom in Atlanta had a couple Lego Masters at his house, doing a similar. Yeah. So, we just have to figure out how to do this.
Just the small details, but it can be worked out.
BBN is a cool group. Aw, thank you. I might have to do something in LA too, because we have a couple of people down there in the LA region, including PT.
Definitely, yeah.
Since LA is no longer a thing,
Yeah, I just heard about that.
Somebody's got to fill the gap.
That's strange because I feel like Los Angeles is that's a big area.
Exactly. It's like I don't understand that because I guess it's because people don't want to volunteer to do the work. Right? Because it takes a lot of work to put on a convention. But if you don't position it as a convention, but just maybe make it just like you would do a potluck or some sort of gathering or a picnic or something like that. And that's kind of where I think Bricks Cascade, or I'm sorry, Portlug has something called the Bricknick, where it's a picnic. And maybe that's what you and Aziza should come to.
That
if
is
you don't
awesome.
mind coming to Portland. Yeah, because Portland, I think the Bricknick, I just joined as a member of Portlug, but the Bricknick, I think, is in June or July. And it's outdoors, and they have tables for people to set up their MOCs. So it's almost like a little mini convention, but it's also like a barbecue.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. I will do more research on that.
We'll talk some more about that. I like it.
Yeah, so sad. No Bricks LA and no Bricks by the Bay. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard Bricks by the Bay is no more as well.
I think personally it's because of a couple different reasons. One is that the market is getting diluted because there's so many other conventions happening now that you have, all the brick fairs that go on, because Brick World has multiple events that go on. And I think too that maybe people are a little intimidated by mock building, and they think, oh my God, I've got to bring this big mock and the costs too, because being in LA
let me say
is expensive.
This. If there's anyone who feels that way, I was the exact same way until last year when I went to my first convention. And I brought a mock that I didn't consider to be anything spectacular, especially compared to even a percentage of the builds that were there. And my mock won an award. You really never know.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to share. Because one thing that I feel like is really cool about this Lego community is that I don't really feel that there's a competition about it. Everybody here
everybody's
just loves
supporting
Lego.
each
We love
other.
the build. We love the fantastic things that we can pull off with Lego, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just fun to share it. So you don't have to worry about, saving face or being, oh, I'm not as good of a builder as that person.
Right.
Lego Master contestant here, and I will tell you, I'm one of the slowest builders on the planet. It really it really does not matter. You know what I mean? It's just
The
come to the
planet's a
party
pretty
and have
big
fun.
place. So Aziza says that she does like planning stuff. Okay, so the three of us need to chat, because I think if we do something in Spokane, maybe like a Bricknick kind of thing, so it's like outdoors at a picnic place or something, and maybe in LA with PT McEwen. Yeah. Yeah, and I agree, PT. Just build and have fun. That we don't have to make it like a formal thing. And
Exactly.
Also, when you rent a convention center and then you have the contracts that you have to meet with hotels for X number of rooms, I mean that's really intimidating. So
insurance, all the stuff.
yeah,
It's a lot.
I think the simplest thing is just like this picnic thing: is you rent like a picnic area at a local park, and then you announce the date, tell people to plan it, and then have a couple tables to have people have their mocks, and we just kind of socialize.
It would be a beautiful thing. I love that idea.
Okay, we're gonna do that.
We're probably gonna do that. Yeah.
We're gonna have to do something, I think. And you have to learn new techniques from fellow AFOLs. Yeah, and that's exactly why we have the 2-minute tech tip. And if you haven't seen it yet, we're going to, in fact, this might be a good time, unless if you have something you wanted to mention, this might be a good break time where we can play your video.
Let's do it.
Does this work for you? Okay, so let's preface this. Since you already talked about your first convention, you brought a mock with you, and it happened to be this butterfly. And this is the one where you won the award too, right?
Yes, yeah. And completely unexpected. I was convinced by a lot of my fellow contestants to bring a mock because, a lot of the Lego Master Season 3 contestants were at, excuse me, we're at BrickCon this past year. So they told me to bring a mock. And so I went ahead and brought it. I threw it up on the display table. And next thing you know, I was being called out for award. And it was a really good feeling. Super humbled by it. And it was just one of my mocks that I think I'm the most proud of.
Well, since you mentioned it, and since the tech tip is around that mock, it's a butterfly, and you won the award for this butterfly. But one of the innovative parts was the way you made the eyeball. And this is the specific tech tip with regarding the eyeball. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this. So you're going to see us in the side of the window. And we can do Mystery Science Theater if you want as we're talking through this, or we'll just let it go. But anyway, so this is, let me get this prepped, but this is from Eddie. And you'll notice too, I have some very quick cuts on this. So, okay, here we go. And we're going to start. Today's 2-minute tech tip is from Lego Masters Season 3 contestant, AFOL, and 49er fan, EB Bricks.
I've been asked a few times, how did I build the eye on this butterfly? Let me show you. We're going to start off with these 3x3 wedge plates. We're going to have 4 of those. 1 2x6 plate here. We're simply going to line those up just like so.
And I did format this for TikTok, which is why
2x8.
It's formatted this way.
I'll put that right on top of here. I also got these 3x2 wedge plates here. One tiny guy.
That's a quick cut right there too.
Right next to the side. Now what this is doing is giving it a little bit of texture.
I love that.
From there, we're going to grab this 1x4 right here. We're going to tap that up there. Oops, I think I'm doing that right.
I like your personal
3x4 wedge plates with the stud notches. So we're going to put one on the very top. We're going to put our 1x4 right in the middle. And then put another one right here underneath it. So now, we have a nice little frame there. From there, we're going to go ahead and take this bubble canopy here. And we have 2 of these 1x1 tiles with the open clip.
Which is Debo's favorite piece.
Pop those on there like so.
It's a very useful piece.
He's not in the chat, but I'm pretty sure he's going to do a tech tip about that piece.
All right. And we're going to take this and we're going to sit it right on top of our little structure there. So that's pretty much what it is.
And that is brilliant.
Now the trick here, we wanted to give the eye the color that it was blue, but didn't want to just put something blue up there. So I grabbed a bunch of these trans dark blue little round plates and wedges here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our eye and we're going to just hold it upside down like so. We're simply going to pour these blue pieces right into it.
I love the fact that it's a hodgepodge of the same trans pieces. It doesn't have to be all the same.
Yeah, I just wanted to give it that rocky kind of texture, something that the light would hit and, you know, kind of give some motion to.
And that is how we came up with the
That is so cool.
butterfly. Then we're simply going to take the whole piece there, stick it right on there. Now we have a butterfly eye.
Thank you, Eddie, for that awesome tip. If you want to follow him on Instagram, go to @e.v_bricks. And for more 2-minute tech tips, go to #2minute tech tip on Instagram Reels. I'm the Brickanista. May the clutch be with you.
Awesome.
Yay! That's
I like it.
Well, what was interesting about that, so Eddie and I were talking about this before the stream, is that I try to have enough room so I can do a intro and a closing, but there was so much really good information here that I just like talk really fast. And I think it was wonderful to get that feedback. And yes, nice tip. Thanks. Exactly.
Thank you.
Now, where did you come up with the idea of the dome piece? Did you see that with another mock that somebody had used that dome piece and that you decided to use the blue to make it a blue eye? Or
no, actually, believe it or not, it was my daughter, my 6-year-old, who
I believe
pointed that out to me. I was just going through my slosh bucket, and like I said, I was looking. I wanted a blue something, you know what I mean? And I have a few, you know, kind of like what I call the umbrella pieces or whatnot, the little discs. I was like, no, they're too round. You know, when you look at a butterfly's eyes, they're very oval shaped. So I was like, no, what can we do? So she just happened to pull out my drawer that has a bunch of windshields in it. And she just said, this looks like an eye. And I was like, genius.
That's brilliant.
Genius. It actually does look like an eye. So I was like, but you know what? Because it was one of the darker window colors, I was like, how can I add some color in there to make it look realistic? And that's why I decided to go with the trans blue or the trans dark blue pieces there. Because I figured, like I said, when the light hits that the right way, it kind of gives it a blue sparkle, a blue tingle, which would be just the way kind of, I don't know if you've ever seen too many butterfly eyes, but they tend to have that kind of crystallization to them. So it worked out.
Because they have multiple eyes, right? Don't flies and
there are a bunch of like multi-eyes.
Multi-eyes, yeah. And I agree, as these multiple claps.
So yeah, no, it was definitely a group effort there, and it worked out because I feel like it was brilliant. I can't say I would have come up with that on my own. So.
Well, and I think the other thing I love about using the trans pieces in this way is that you often hear about putting trans pieces loose in, say, a fountain, at the bottom of the fountain, or, you know, in a wave, but to use it distinctly for encapsulated within another Lego piece, I think that's just brilliant. And I think
it took a minute, like I said, to figure it out to where you could actually get them to stay inside. You want it to be full. You didn't want there to be a gap, you know, where, you know, so it didn't look right. But so you just have to put the right amount in there, you know, like I said, move them down a little bit and shake it a little bit to make sure that they all fit in there. And when they did, it came out looking great. So
when you transport the butterfly, do you wrap the eye with some, you know, clear wrap or something, or is it pretty tight?
I did not. I left it tight as it was. Yeah. The butterfly, as far as transport goes, just the legs and the wings get disassembled. Everything else is just one piece, and it is pretty solid.
Yeah, I think too that trans method also reminded me of how you can take a 1x2x5 clear column, a clear trans column, and insert, say, round dots in there to give it another texture for a wall. And I'm always fascinated when people come up with ideas like that. And there's another one that I think it was Brendan and Greg when they were making that rainbow bridge for the Thor, that it sounded like, I think Brendan came up with putting different colors underneath trans blue, I think trans light blue, to just mute it enough. So
like you said, depending on the lighting, that's one thing I love about all the trans colored pieces, because you can really mix and match, and you can blend colors with them. You can make a purple, mixing a trans pink and a trans yellow. Like it's all in how you put it together and how it's actually being visualized. So there's something very, like I said, that's the beauty about Lego. Everything about it is there's no limit to the creativity that you can really make up with them.
So you mentioned bringing this MOC as your first MOC to BrickCon. So what is your next MOC you're working on right now?
Ooh, so that one's actually a little difficult right now. So the next plan that I would like to do a video game mosaic, actually, for Super Mario Brothers 3, because that was one of my favorite video games growing up. So, but the problem that I ran into that is all of a sudden this news came out that dots were going to be discontinued, and the price of dots have shot way up through the sky, which I was not expecting when I decided to make this. So it's going to take a little more time to get it done than what I thought, but hopefully that'll be the next big MOC that I get done.
Yeah, there was, I want to say at Brick Fair, Virginia, or one of those, where there is a mosaic of, I don't want to say Super Mario, but it's a video game characters. They're all just like facing. It might be Pokemon, where they have all these different Pokemon characters looking out. And I think they use those 16x16 plates that came with the world map. So I'm waiting for the world map to go on sale, because that's going to be a great way to get a bunch of dots.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, of course, there's Bricklink, you know what I mean? But like I said, of course, I'm sure just like anybody else, bills comes first. I can't just spend all the money on Lego. So I have to.
Right. Well, which is why we're doing 2-minute tech tips. The 2-minute tech tip kind of evolved out of a need for, at least for me, to show to the world you don't have to have a lot to make things really cool. Yeah,
that's something that's actually was mentioned to me on a live I was on the other night. Is I tend to, my area, what I call my little brick room here, is larger than most, but very small compared to most. I'd say my collection is pretty mediocre. It's not very big at all. So when it does come to building, especially large size MOCs, I don't do too many of them because there's just not enough brick to go around. I do a lot of mocking and tear down, mock and tear down, a lot of sorting, but it's part of the game.
Everybody does a lot of sorting. And since you mentioned sorting, what technique do you use to sort?
It kind of depends on what it is.
Because you mentioned earlier you have windshields in a drawer.
Yeah. Over the last couple months, I went ahead and separated some things. Like I have a bucket that's all just wheels, rims, and tires. I have one that's all
every Lego person has a bucket full of wheels or a drawer full of wheels.
Yeah, it's literally one of those Sterilite drawers, just full. Same thing. I have a bucket of just Technic, and then I have my standard brick all separated by color mostly. But everything else is just kind of thrown together. And like I said, I sit down on the floor like a little kid, and I just slosh through my bucket until I find the pieces that I need. Like I said, that's the other reason why I'm pretty much a slow builder. It takes a lot of time to fish through what I got going on here. So that's a big part of it there.
You sort very similarly to Ethan the artisan, because he sorts by color. He does not sort by shape, which I thought was really interesting, because he's a very prolific builder. And he says, he takes a a boatload or a buttload of one particular color. And he says sometimes he's just like digging through, and even though in his mind he had one particular part in mind, something else will be in the bucket, and then he'll use that instead, which is interesting because I sort by shape, and I guess I've kind of been locked into that for a little bit, but now I'm thinking maybe I should be sorting by color, because
I think it depends.
Other people.
I think it depends on how your visualization works. Me
Yeah.
personally, I don't know how, but the way that I've always had Lego, like I said, I've never had a lot of it. So I'm used to being able to find whatever I need to find instantaneously. So for instance, I have a bucket that is full of nothing but red. And no matter what it is, I can find the certain part. It's not going to blend in. If I'm looking for a certain piece, I will find that certain piece. However, when it comes to like small tiles, the little clip parts that we had showed in the tech tip, little things like that, those are things I feel like you should definitely separate by part and not by color.
That's what's behind me. Is those
especially little
things
like that. They get caught inside of a 2x4 brick easily. So you could be searching for something and it's hidden inside of another.
It's wedged inside of something else.
Exactly. I can't tell you how many Lego hands I'm missing right now just inside of bricks. So, you know what I mean? Little things like that, you definitely want to separate. But of course, do what works for you. What's more comfortable.
Also, to go clearance shopping.
That right there. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
The area that I have here, I don't know if you could tell dimension wise, but this is basically just one corner of my bedroom here. So I don't have a ton of space to bring in more Lego, even if I could afford to do so. So you really just got to work with what you got. Find the best way to sort it out to where if you are pressed for time, which sometimes you are, every now and then, if there's a challenge build, for instance, or like, for instance, I'm part of a virtual lug right now, and we have a couple builds that we want to get done by the 25th, things like that. So if you're pressed for time, it does help to be as organized as you can be.
Right.
But again, not anything that's too detrimental. I think as long as you know what you have, where you have it, you can find what you need.
And I think too, when you have a goal in mind for, say, a convention coming up. So at the moment, I have BrickCan on my radar, which is in April. And so I broke out on Sunday an old mock that I had been working on before. And I'm thinking, okay, if I'm going to get this ready, I need to start working on it now. And it's almost like you have to backtrack a couple months. But I was working on that live on stream, and a couple people, it was really helpful to have that feedback. But the more I thought about it, it goes back to space, right? That if you don't have a dedicated build space, then it's like you're building and building for a while, and then you got to find another space to put it, and then you got to come back to it. Whereas other builders who have a dedicated workspace, they can just build, leave it in place, come back, build. And I hope to get there someday, but I'm kind of
same here. Yeah,
I don't have a lot of space to build.
I can't say that I have it that way right now. Most of the time, I'm very limited on shelf space as it is. I mean, what you see behind me is kind of what I have. But if I'm working on something, especially if I don't want it damaged, there's a lot of foot traffic in between my bedroom and the bedroom that's adjacent to mine.
Right. Plus
so you got to be careful of, exactly. And she likes to touch everything. So you got to really be careful with, leaving things out. Something may get accidentally kicked, something get knocked over on it. Luckily, also what I use for taking my photos when I post any box or anything I have a shelf right outside my laundry room here. And that's where I call my studio, so that's where I take photos. So any mocks that I have done or that I'm working on that I just need to keep in the order that they're in, I'll normally just stick them up there until I get them shot. And then once they're shot, they normally get disassembled and put right back into the mix and on to the next one.
Right. And I think that's kind of the ephemeral nature of Lego sometimes, is that you just appreciate it for what it is, and almost like flowers, right? That they're beautiful for a short amount of time.
Exactly.
And then they have a shelf life, and then, you have to tear it down and put it away. There are a few that I've kept, and one of them is the monster trucks.
See,
I love the monster trucks. So I just built this one. This is the Dragon, and I'm thinking I don't know why I love these so much. I guess because they're technic and they're strong, and you know that they're not going to really get destroyed that much. So I can like toss them over there, toss them over there. But
I mean, it's kind of the same thing I have going on up here. I have a little line of cars that I built, and
nice.
I also have a monster truck back there. I don't know if you can see it or not.
Oh, which one?
Let's see.
You have Megalodon, or is it Max D?
Yep, just this little guy. It's just a little.
This is a mock.
Yeah, this is a mock that I threw together. Something to go with my fifth wheel trailer up there. So a little bit of Technic, a little bit of brick, and it all worked out.
This is all Technic. And these
it looks
are
a lot more monster than mine. Mine just has monster tires.
Well, this is because this you know that Lego now has a Monster Jam line of trucks. This is
that I actually did not know.
This is a Lego product that's in the Thrifty Thursday is what I do, which is $20 or less. So this is a $19.99 set, and it's a 2-in-1. So in addition to this model, you can make a drag racer too. So when I found out that these were $19.99, the very first one I did was the Megalodon, which looks like a shark. And then each one it's just so interesting, the take. And so the other one that they came out with this year is a Dalmatian. So this one is the Dragon, but the Dalmatian's the next one I'll be building some Thursday in the future. That truck looks rad. Yeah, it does. I mean, like I said, I don't know. And who was it who asked me this? I was on London Bridge Bricks as a guest, and it was right around the first of the year. And he went through all the guests and said, what set would you say surprised you the most or that you really enjoyed? And he came to me and I said, this is going to sound weird, but I really like those Monster Jam trucks.
Well, the first one, I don't know. It kind of reminded me of the Gravedigger monster truck.
Yeah, they have the Gravedigger.
I loved it. I was like, this is perfect.
They have the Gravedigger. If you haven't picked it up, it's only like $20.
Oh, no, I've had two of them.
You have two of them. Okay.
Yeah, we have two of those.
Yeah. So the Gravedigger, Max D, Megalodon, El Toro Loco, Dragon, and then the next one's the Dalmatian Mutt, I think. So
That's
yeah.
I definitely want to see that one.
You should get the Dragon. The Dragon's pretty cool.
Okay.
I might have to upgrade this though and make it like Niner colors because it's got the red and the gold. And if I can this with red and then put like a Niners decal on the side.
Oh, you can totally do it. You can totally do it.
Yeah, I just don't know. Some of these pieces are like in what's the Mindstorms? The Mindstorms robot gift with purchase.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe next time I see you, this will be converted, or I'll get a second one to make.
Well, I guess at this point it should be a thing now. So yeah, we'll have some more Niner builds done.
Okay. Maybe
that's new season is around the corner, so we got to get it up.
Niners season in September. Maybe that's what we do. We plan our Bricknick tailgate party. Niner gear.
Oh.
Spokane.
Speaking my language. And let me tell you, I think I had mentioned this to you before, actually, too. Here in Spokane, even though this is Seattle territory, there is a gigantic 49er following here in Spokane. So I don't think we would have a problem with that party at all.
Well, I think that's what we're going to have to do. Some sort of, and we'd have to find like a sports bar, maybe with an outdoor screen. Have you ever, when I went to, where was it? It was in the South. They had this projector that projected on this brick wall, and all these outdoor tables. That would be really cool. We'll have to talk more about that. So a Niners tailgate party.
I have an idea.
Okay.
We'll talk about it.
All right, we'll do that. That'll be fun. All right. So when will people be able to see you in person next? Do you have any planned appearances?
Well, like I said,
in a season,
as of right now, I'm not sure how the rest of the year is looking as far as conventions go. But But BrickCon is technically my con. It's the closest one to me, so I would definitely love to make that one next year.
Right.
Talking to my co-contestants, Yo-Yo and Crash.
Yeah.
I would love to get to BrickCan too, because that's definitely going to be a party up there. I love hanging out with those guys. Miss you guys, by the way.
Yeah, they are awesome.
Yeah.
We talked for 2.5 or 3.5 hours.
I'm gonna break in with the sentiment real quick here. Anybody who's not following either, I believe it's Fire Hosey and Yo-Yo Fire Bricks, follow them. Just two of the most genuine, helpful, kind, loving guys. Really, I'm talking about really instant brotherhood right here. Like, these are two really great guys that I love being around. So go ahead and follow those guys.
Is that what Fire Hose YYC?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. And we had them on our show when we were interviewing contestants, and Remy and I spoke to them for 3.5 hours.
Yeah, that was a long one, you guys.
When we calculated it out, it was like our show was longer than The Godfather 2. Right? Wow. There were like 7 films besides. Those guys can talk. Let me tell you. Oh my God, it was crazy. And I even said, we can close this down anytime. They go, oh no, we want to keep talking. And
that's what I love about them. Like I said, they're both an instant party. You get them together, and you're not going to want to stop. So, definitely.
I'm looking forward to getting together. Because that's in April. Will you be there?
What's that now?
Will you be at BrickCan? It's only like in a couple months.
No. Like I said, the pockets just aren't allowing it at the moment. That's the problem that I'm having. So,
you should just drive in for Family Day, because then you can drive in for. Like, I might be doing that because I might be, running.
If I can work it out with time off from a job, that might be a doable thing. So
I think Friends and Family Day, I believe, is Friday night. And
Friday night.
I think you can get in there Friday, and then you show up for Friends and Family Night, and then you can see all the MOCs and hang out with people. You won't be able to do any of the prizes or the games or any of that.
Right.
But that might be the way to do it.
Possibly. Yeah, I'm definitely got to get a hold of those guys too, because making it up there was something that we've already talked about. So that's something that has to be done. But otherwise, like I said, my focus is just trying to get through this year. If I don't make it to any conventions, which I'm still not positive that Cascade isn't going to happen, but it's not looking like it so far. So that may be the only one.
Weekend, which makes it hard.
Exactly. So that being said, if we make that one, awesome. But if not, I'm shooting for next year to do a round. So we're talking we're talking Con, Brick World Chicago. That is one that I'm definitely trying to make it to. There's a lot of people out there that I need to see. So I would love to make it out to Chicago.
I hope I get to see you again in person, because the last time I saw you in Aziza was at BrickCon with pretty much the entire cast. I don't think
it's been a while already.
Weren't there. Yeah.
Time flies. So
it's great. And I wanted to thank you again for, taking the time to share the tip, because I know I'm with you. When you're recording a video, it takes a lot of time. I really appreciate you doing that for the 2-minute tech tip, and really enjoyed that too. Just learning that new technique of filling in those canopies with trans pieces. That's really a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, thank you. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely. So for those of you who are not following, shame on you. Follow Eddie Gooden at e.b_bricks with 2 X's on Instagram. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the stream. I always forget to do that. I always say, I get so enwrapped in speaking with the guests, but remember to like and subscribe to the stream. It helps. Also, I think you can do that on Rumble. For those of you on Rumble, I've been checking back and forth, and the Rumble people, I think, are lurkers. They I see 6 people I think are watching, or 2 are watching, and it's like they just want to keep quiet, which is fine. Don't worry, guys.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
It's great to have you here, because you're listening to the Brickanista Broadcast Network here on YouTube and Rumble. And if you do want to send fan mail, you can send it to the Brickanista Broadcast Network, P.O. Box 31956, Seattle, Washington. And as I mentioned on Rumble, it's rumble.com/user/Brickanista. And I'm going to start co-streaming over there. Just, it's a new platform. We'll see where it goes. At least new for me. It's been around for a while. But I wanted to thank everybody once again, PT McEwen and Brick Jedi, Aziza, anybody who's going to be watching later as well. It's always great to have you here and enjoying the stream. And as they say on the Brickanista Broadcast Network, thank you, everybody. And may the clutch be with you. Take care. Bye.